All right, so we talked about distance formula and midpoint formula, and I'm going to go through those notes for anybody that was not here or just need some extra practice. Okay, so first and foremost, the distance formula, and I do the distance formula a little different than if you were to Google it or search for it or whatever, and that's only because the other formula that we've done so far is your slope formula. So the y's come first in slope, so I'll let the y's come first in distance. It doesn't matter. You can do this either way. I've had a couple of people that have asked me about that, but it doesn't matter. Either one, okay? All right, so we're going to get these two ordered pairs that are on this graph over here first. So that's going to be -5, 3, and -2, -3. So my two ordered pairs are -5, 3, and -2, -3. So that's what I'm going to be using for my X and my Y. Okay, so again, this is X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Okay, so now when I plug it in, I plug it straight into the formula. My Y2 is -3 minus Y1 is 3 squared plus -2 minus -5 squared. And we're just going to go through and simplify, y'all, just step by step, line by line. Okay, that gives me -6 squared, and that gives me 3 squared. All right, if I simplify those, -6 times -6 is 36. 3 times 3 is 9, and that gives me the square root of 45. And then literally we're going to type that into the calculator, the second square root of 45, and that gives me 6.71. Now I do, oh, y'all can't see that very well because of the Oh, yeah. Okay, 6.708 is what it gives me, so I'm going to make that 6.71. Okay, number 2, they already gave me the points, so I'm literally just going to plug them straight in. Y minus y squared and x minus x squared. We're going to simplify. That's -2. That's 7. Keep simplifying. That's 4, and that's 49. So that gives me 53. And everything just stays under the radical. You don't need the radical until the end. And then we're just going to type the square root of 53, and it's going to be 7.28. All right, and a third one of those, again, formula. Y is 3 minus -2. X is 11 minus -7. Okay. Okay, so 5 squared plus 18 squared, so that gives me 25 plus 324. When I add those together, I get the square root of 349. And the square root of 349 is going to give me 18.68. Okay, for me, y'all, I round to 2 decimal places all the time unless I'm told differently. So that's why I do have 2 decimal places there. Okay, all right, so that's your distance formula. It's a long formula, but it simplifies really quickly once you get everything plugged in. All right, the second one there is your midpoint formula. Okay, so for mid, we're thinking middle. Okay, and another thing we talked about is halfway. And that's where the divide by 2 is going to come in on here, the halfway. That's where the divide by 2. Okay, now, likewise, x's do come first here, and they have to because a midpoint is going to give you an x and y value, and x always comes first in the ordered pair. So again, we're just plugging in. Okay, so 7 plus 9 over 2, and -5 plus -1 over 2. And we just simplify, y'all, literally step by step. 16 over 2, -6 over 2, and that gives me 8 and -3. So my midpoint is 8, -3. Okay, number 2, again, x is our first, -7 plus 3, 4 plus -4. We're going to simplify that. That gives me -4 over 2 and 0 over 2, and drop down the answer there is -2 and 0. Okay, so that is literally your midpoint and your distance formula. We didn't do very many of those in those notes, and you did have some practice for that on your homework for that day.